And welcome to Let's Fly VFR, everyone. Today we're going to have a bit of a fly around Oshkosh, and we're going to have a look at the way the ATC currently operates. So we need to get a VFR departure, so we just use our thumb wheel and rotate that, or push that down on the joystick while we're holding down a trigger, in my case for a push to talk button. Having a few issues just trying to get this panel to stay in one place. I previously have been able to do that, but now it doesn't seem to want to do that. So we'll go for circuits. We'll get a reply from our controller. Starting to really enjoy using ATC. It does give you another level of complexity if you have been lazy and not used ATC in the past, because it was just a noise. The overall system here I think is really good. It's got a lot better than it was in the past.
Hold short runway 1.
The simplicity of using it is good. Some of the functionality still has some bugs, I believe, but we're certainly going to get there in time, I'm sure. So if you haven't used it, let's have a quick talk about how you use the ATC. So you need a couple of controls set up. So on one of your controllers, you need a push to talk button. In my case, I use the trigger on my 3D Pro. And you need to hold it down, then that panel that you saw, that will come up in front of you. And then in my case I use the view hat, and I've got that set up for up, down, right and left, so I can search around menus. And you need to look for that under edit as we get approval to go onto the runway. Checking with the controller so we're moving from ground to the tower. And with that button, you're going to need to just edit and look for hat up, hat down, hat left and hat right, I think are the commands that you need. And then you can use it just to scroll down through as we set up our frequencies, get that all set up properly, so we're squawking the right numbers, and then we can take off from runway 18. So pretty easy to use. I'll talk about some of the little issues that I've found with it so far. And this could be just operator error, but there seems to be a couple of little things that keep cropping up that maybe they're not as they should be yet, but that's okay. Now I haven't been to Oshkosh, never been fortunate enough to get there, and this is quite a decent sized airport. So we've got a couple of different runways here. This is the biggest one at about 8,000 feet, 1836. I'm sure we get a lot of jets and stuff coming in on this one. The main one, is where the show seems to operate around, is 0927, which is about 6,000 plus feet long. And then there's a couple of smallies, 0523 and 3113, that are all about 3,500 feet or so. They just cross the other runway. So we get this off and we'll get this Baron up in the air. And just have a look at the scenery, have a look at sunset, because that's really nice time of day to fly, gotta say. And the colours in the clouds is pretty nice. I'm pretty impressed with that. There is one little issue, as you can see at the end of the runway, and that's a set of power cables or power lines that run in, which make it just about impossible to land properly at that end. But you've got to remember, the developers, you can see down there, that makes it a bit hard. They do thousands of airports, and now and again little bits get missed for sure, and I'm sure that will get corrected in the near future. I'm sure that there'll be something. I've seen a few people whinging on Facebook about it, but that's okay. We highlight it, and I'm sure there'll be some adjustments made. You can probably fix it in WED for yourself, World Editor, but I thought just using an exclusion zone might have fixed that, but that didn't fix it for me, so they're still there for the moment as we head on our upwind. Now, some of the issues with ATC that I've found so far, I don't tend to fly a lot of long flights. I tend to just do 45 to an hour flights, and I like doing a lot of touch and goes and takeoffs and landings and that sort of stuff. Just because it's more active, it's more challenging than just sitting there flying along. But one thing that I've found is if you get an approval to do circuits, as we have done so, and then we taxi out and we might change from the ground control to the tower, that works fine. If you then take off it will ask you to do a report downwind. Now, I should have done that already, and I didn't think of it until I got a bit further down on my downwind lead, which is a bit late really, but I'm getting used to it. So you do the report for your downwind, and then it'll ask you to report final. Now the thing does auto answer for you. You don't have to do anything to reply, which is also good. Now when you do your final call and then you do your touchdown, if you continue to fly, now it often tells you that you have to contact like the local centre after you do that, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. It did it to me here. I was making an approach to the runway as we're doing now, and it gave an approval landing to another aircraft to land on that runway, so I missed and flew around, and then I had to argue with O'Hare International, which is sort of about, I don't know, 20 degrees to the left, but a fair way down the other side of the lake. I had to go to their frequency, and then there's so much traffic on it, which is probably quite realistic. It gets frustrating just trying to get yourself changed back and requesting a frequency change so you can come back to the airport that you departed from and only intended to do circuits in. So that's a little frustrating. And if you do make an approach and then you go missed, I've found even on the Parafield Airport, did the same thing. It passed me off to Adelaide International, and then I had to, or Melbourne, passes you off to Melbourne traffic, and then you have to get back onto Parafield while you're flying around Parafield Airport. So there's a few little things that just need some fine tuning, and I'm sure, as always, that'll get sorted out as we go. We highlight things in these videos, the guys see it at Lamina, then they will get tidied up, I'm sure. We just beta testers, aren't we, at the moment, until that gets finalised. So, still really enjoying this Baron flying. That's about all I've flown of late. I was looking here for another option to report on final again, because it did ask me again after I'd already replied. So, not sure why it did that, but I checked a few times just to make sure it didn't come up, because they do give you a good rousting if you don't do the right thing, especially taxiing if you don't taxi the right place. So, yep, nothing happening there, so we'll keep coming in. But this thing's really good. Now, the Barry, for a big twin, 73 knots stall speed's not bad. It'll cruise at 180 knots for you. You can climb at 1600 plus feet a minute and fly 940 odd miles. So, certainly a very useful aeroplane to get around in, and its handling characteristics, if you get it wrong, it will make you pay too, so you've got to be on your toes all the time as we come into the late final on runway 18 here at Oshkosh. Holding it in pretty nicely, speed's good. Just got to get your nose up here and get a good flare on without overdoing it, and then get a touch. Just floated a little bit there. There's the jet coming out there to take off, and there we go, down on the ground. So that was a quick run around Oshkosh, or Whitman Regional Airport, KOSH, and a quick look at the ATC guys. So let me know what you're finding with the ATC. Are you enjoying it? Are you finding it a bit clunky? What's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear from you. And I'll catch you back here at Let's Fly VFR again real soon. See you then. Bye.